Fellas, what up? All right, so have you ever been in a situation with a group of guys and some toxic conversation comes up? Or somebody makes a comment, say about trans people or about the community or about women, and you completely disagree with what you've heard, or you know it's a complete farce, or you just know it's full of shit, and you are frozen almost in time in your own mind. And it's kind of like, what do I do? What do I say? How do I? And then they look at you and they say, what do you think, man? You understand what I'm saying? Have you ever been in that situation? Well, I'm going to help you on how to deal with toxic male conversation, how to not avoid it, how to deal with it in the moment and kind of avert it, how to not freak out, because you have to make a choice sometimes as to whether or not you're an activist or you are who you are. Because remember, you're out here by yourself. The community's not standing behind you with flags and stuff. So you kind of have to make a decision as to, okay, what am I going to address? What am I not going to address? How to pick your battles. And also how to save face as a man when you're in the process of all this so that you don't out yourself in case you are stealth. This video is more so for the stealth guys, unless you're someone who just hangs out with a lot of guys and you don't necessarily want to make waves, but you know that you're out. But mainly it's for people that are stealth and you're in a situation where other people don't know. So, you know, you're one of the guys and you're being talked to the same way. If you are around men and you're stealth, you know that there are conversations that are had that if women and other people could hear them, they would be like, what the fuck? Yes, I'm not going to give anything up right now because I don't want to lose my card. But there's a lot of stuff that's said that is extremely toxic. There's a lot of beliefs that are circled that are really stupid, not true, and again, extremely toxic, but you are not in charge of whether or not that person should learn a lesson at that moment in time. Depending on where you are, what the situation is, how well you know this person, if this person knows about you or not. I'm assuming not, because that's the point of view of this video. You got to make a choice right then. Okay, how am I going to handle this? I'm going to give you a situation and a story that might help. So I was hanging out, some of my boys this years ago, like over 20 years ago. I was hanging out with some of my boys, and tough crowd, cool but tough. And this was when the stand and pee attachment first came out, the purple one. You guys know what I'm talking about. Well, one of the guys in there somehow knew about it, and of course I knew what it was. And I remember he was like, hey, y'all know that damn they made something for these damn transes, these transes to pee out of. Man, they trying to replace us, blah, blah, blah. And everybody just goes in an uproar. And they're like, what? And they're talking about it, shit. And dude, now at the time, I was bodybuilding at the time. So I'm big. Dude slapped me. He was like, what you think about it? And I was like, what are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know nothing about it. And they started laughing. They were like, man, he don't know nothing about it. He don't know. And I was like, nah, what you talking about? So they started explaining everything, and I just played ignorant. They said some pretty intense stuff. But I was like, man, I don't know about that. And I was like, can't nobody replace me as a man. I'm a man. How a woman gonna replace me? And I diverted the conversation to that. Then it was like, yeah, that's true. Shit, we the seed. We the ones to make babies, blah, blah, blah. And it changed the whole situation. Was I nervous? Not really, because, I mean, why should I be nervous? I was like one of the biggest dudes in the room. And, I mean, why should I be nervous? But some of the things that they said, it rubbed me the wrong way, because it's like, damn, y'all believe that stupid shit? But that just wasn't the time. Some of you have to figure out how to avert the situation that way. I've been in conversations with guys and they start talking about women in really nasty ways, especially since Red Pill came out. Guys sitting around, I mean, talking pure just shit about women and saying things that aren't true. Generalizing all women based on what these men who are not getting dates with women are telling them, because they look cool from an aesthetic point of view. What do I do during those conversations? I talk about the women I've dated. Oh man, that's not true for all guys, man. If you get coochie, you don't really feel that way. Women don't. I've never had that happen. The minute that you say, I've never had that happen, or nah, man, all women don't do that shit. Look at the guys that are saying that shit. The minute you start downplaying these guys and you take your own stance and you have your own stance and you can back your shit just by evidence, because most of the people, men can tell, it usually shuts up. Or usually they'll say, oh, well, man, that's you. Okay, and that's you. That's your experience. I mean, it's whatever, though. You have to learn to maintain a certain level of indifference and a certain level of self-control in order to get yourself through these conversations without outing yourself or getting yourself upset, and then the rest of your day is fucked up. You have to remember, we're in an age where a lot of this stuff is being passed on in a big game of telephone. And most people are making the content that they're making based on an amount of money that they're being paid. So it's not really driven from the heart. That's why you have to develop who you are, so you know, okay, this is my stance and this is how I feel. It's cool if that's how you feel, great. I don't need a crowd to stand with me, but this is exactly how I feel. Why? Because my experiences have been a little bit different, and I refuse to generalize people. Another reason why you should be that way, because people generalize you, and the last thing you want to be is just like them. So if you sit around and you participate in the bullshit, whether it be racial conversation or gender conversation or anything that is disparaging or denigrating to anyone else, then you are a part of the big problem that I'm talking about. You're a part of these toxic guys. Because you are only feeding into the game of telephone. When you have the opportunity to hang it up, or, forward the call. Like, go talk to somebody else about that shit. That's another good way to get out of something. Man, I don't pay attention to that shit. I don't pay attention to that. I don't care about that. Start talking about something that's meaningful. Not too deep, but something that's meaningful. That'll shut it up real quick. Hope those tips help. Just remember, self-control. Notice self-control and self-awareness and getting to know yourself, shadow work, are all kind of the theme as to how you make it in the world of men, because so few men do those things. So few men have self-control. So few men do shadow work and dive deep, and so few men are self-aware. So if if you practice self-control, you know you, and you're self-aware as to the things that you do, how you're going to react. If you can actually stand up and say, you know what, my bad, I was uninformed. Thank you. If you can see other points of view, and if you can also stand on your point of view, whether people like it or not, you be good to go. All right, fellas, until the next one.